more to run for. Keep an eye, though, on the other red jersey, Mackenzie Altmaier of Bradley. Has run a 9:46, and she's somebody that has a good kick, and so her goal is to be on that podium at the end of this. She anchored Bradley's DMR yesterday to a 4th place finish.
Kelly, having those faster times too, putting you in that second section lets you look at the times of that opening section as they're going to back the runners off. Just 14 runners here in section 2 of the women's 3,000. Talk about just the advantage of that and, rewarding athletes for their good performances through the season here.
It's definitely an advantage because you think about the pace is naturally going to be quicker. And so you have people around you to pull you through this very tough 3K event. Just like we see it being an advantage for the short sprints as well, like the 200 and 400 meter races. If you're in that second heat, you know the time you have to be in order to get the winner to score points.
Rita Moret of Loyola out in front with Kayla Shera, the sophomore from Southern Illinois. To lead things off, Mimi Reimers, a junior from Loyola. On the inside in that second pack next to teammate Tarynn Cullings, the junior for Loyola.
And look for these Loyola women. There's 4 of them in this fast heat to work together. They're all 4 towards the front of the pack. We see Mimi Reimers, you mentioned Rita Moret leading this race right now. Tarynn Cullings just to that outside shoulder. And so look for them. They train together every day. This is a group that they won the MVC cross-country title this year in resounding fashion. So they will work together in this race to stay towards the front of that pack. Also make sure to keep an eye in the blue jersey, Jocelyn Keelis from Indiana State. She's ran 9:49. That's the 3rd fastest time coming in. She's currently middle of the pack, hip number 3. She had a lot of success last year, was a breakout performer at the MVC indoor meet in the mile, and was dealing with some Achilles pain over Christmas break. And so she hasn't been able to do the shorter races, which she favors, because she just doesn't quite have the top end speed right now. So they've really worked on some of the longer stuff. And she's still only running about 20 miles per week, but her coach, Kyle Walsh, says she's cross-training like a beast. She has the aerobic fitness level to do well in this 3,000-meter race.
All right, this is section 2 of the women's 3,000, chasing a time of 10:06 set by Millie Brettel, junior from Drake. Right now, let's take a look at the results of the men's heptathlon made possible by Casey's General Store. Casey's here for good.
Grueling 2-day event, 7 events over the last 2 days, and here's a look at the competition. It all began with the long jump. The winner in the long jump, Mitch Conrad from Indiana State. Gord in the high jump, winner was Jordan Wilkerson from Illinois State. That was 2 events he won on the first day. He also won the 60-meter dash. He went 6.7 and then he opened up today winning the 60 hurdles in 9.05 seconds. He came back and won the pole vault, soaring 14 feet, 9.5 inches. So the first day leader maintained his second day lead, defend his title, just a 3rd multi-champ in the heptathlon. Your winner, Jordan Wilkinson from Illinois State, a senior from Indianapolis, Indiana. The 3rd straight year Illinois State wins the title, accumulating 5,255 points. Caleb Madema from Illinois State was 2nd, and Ty Thompson from UNI, a freshman, finished 3rd.
Let's look at 3 Redbirds all on that board with JT Lauder, a freshman, joining Medema and Wilkerson on the top 8-point grabbers in the men's heptathlon. As we go back to the women's 3,000-meter run, Tarynn Cullings out in front, the junior Rambler. A 3rd-place finish at the Missouri Valley Conference Cross Country Championships this past fall, part of a Loyola Rambler team title, and you see why the white tops towards the front of the pack for the Ramblers.
Cullings doing a nice job really pushing the pace. She's been running about 38-39 second 200s, which puts her on pace for that 9:43 mark that we saw Grace Speedy come in with. Cullings' top time this season is 9:50, but certainly has been a tremendous addition to this Loyola squad, transferring in from Eastern Michigan. Had a lot of success in high school and just it wasn't a good fit for her at Eastern Michigan, and the training didn't really gel, but Alan Peterson, Loyola's head coach, knew that the type of training and the regimen that Loyola does really meshed with the type of training that Tarynn Cullings did in high school.
Yeah, kind of interesting too, Kelly. Tarynn Cullings got high school rivals and friends with Mimi Reimers, and with social media, it's really easy to keep in touch and track on friends from the past, and just saw the great success that Mimi Reimers had with the Loyola Ramblers, with Lindsey Bruce winning championships for Loyola, and decided to get involved with that runners group and helped push that transfer, as you mentioned, from Eastern Michigan. And now as a junior here, leading the women's 3,000 meter section number 2.
And speaking of Mimi Reimers, she's moving up right into that third position. And there's a group of about 5 young women that are about 10 meters or so back from Tarynn Cullings. So we'll see here over the second half of this race if they can close that gap and get up on the shoulders of Tarynn Cullings. Cullings, though, continues to pick up the pace and be very steady every 200, running very consistent right now.
Tarynn Cullings out in front. The junior for Loyola out of Medina, Ohio, leading the way and blazing the trail here in the women's 3,000 meter run.
And this last 1,000 meters is going to be critical in this 3,000 meter race. This is where you start to make your move. And Cullings continues to put distance between herself and that second pack of runners of 5.
There you see Cullings around the corner, and the separation as Mackenzie Altmeyer in second ahead of Anna Lowry. We touched on Anna Lowry a little bit last night during the 5K. The heart valve that will need to be replaced at some point. Her conditioning and training just so impressive. A 5th place finish at the cross country championships. This indoor season, Kelly, Anna Lowry set 4 Evansville school records, 2 of them in one weekend, including the 5K on Friday and then the mile on a Saturday.
Lowry just is really feeling the benefits. She had one of the best training summers of her life as we approached the 4 laps to go mark in this 3,000 meter race. But Lowry has really established, this has been a breakout season for herself, really establishing herself as one of the contenders now in this Missouri Valley Conference. And that's great to see. This Evansville track program, very new, and she's establishing herself as a leader on this Purple Aces squad.
And moves into second place. She's chasing Tarynn Cullings. You see her right there from Loyola, the junior. A season best time, 9:50.11. Just behind her teammates, Mimi Reimers and Claire Hengesbaugh, as far as fastest 3K times this year.
Cullings continues to look very consistent, very strong from that front position. A steady turnover, very relaxed in her upper body. Coming off that 5K last night.
See the bell sitting there. It'll be one more lap after crossing here that will have the bell. That final 400 meters, correct, Kelly, as Cullings comes across this line. .400 meters remains here. Again, Section 1's fastest time. Millie Brettel, the junior from Drake. 10:06 was the time. Set up in section number 1. As Tarynn Cullings Looks in good shape. Coming up here on the final 200 meters. Mimi Reimers moving into second place as Cullings out in front. Her teammate Mimi Reimers now in second. Anna Lowry right behind her. As Tarynn Cullings on the final turn.
She scored some really big points.
Going to give Loyola that title. The 3,000-meter crown will go to Tarynn Cullings, the junior Loyola Rambler. And Reimers, her teammate, comes up in runner-up honors, just passing Anna Lowry down the stretch. And for Loyola, that is the first title on the women's side this weekend.
Brad Loyola looks like 3 in the top 6. Kathleen Sims in 6th place. Mimi Reimers just clipping Anna Lowry there at the finish.
And it looked like those top 6 times would all hold for top 6 finishes. Millie Brettel will come in winning section 1. She will come in and finish 7th. And Kayla Shero will be 8th from Southern Illinois.
Cullings just getting a hug from her head coach, Alan Peterson, who we told his story yesterday, running in the Olympic trials yesterday afternoon, and we saw him. They were at Loyola actually staying at our hotel, and so we saw Peterson finally get to town about 10:30, 11 o'clock last night.
Loves those Saturdays, but when you can put a gal at the top of the podium, Sundays seem pretty good as well. As you see, Tarynn Cullings, and right now we take a look now at recap from some field events. The men's shot put, a production of State Farm Insurance. Talk to an agent today at 1-800-STATE-FARM or by visiting statefarm.com.
Well, we talked about this event really being a turning point if you and I want to have a shot at the team title. And their throwers came through, entering the meet at 5 of the top 6 ranked performers. And there's a look there at your winner, Darius King from Moline, Illinois. Only a junior, wins his first ever Missouri Valley Conference title. And frosting on the cake, winning throw on his 4th attempt. He actually had 4 fouls in the competition, Brad. Goes 62 feet, 7 7/4 inch. But you got to hand it to his teammate, Tom Music, there finishing 2nd. 61 4 3/4. That came on his last throw and vaulted him from 4th into 2nd, surpassing the 2 Southern Illinois throwers. UNI accumulates 27 points compared to 11 by Southern Illinois. And that has vaulted UNI into the team lead. Again, congratulations to Darius King, the school's first shot put champion since Justin Romero won back-to-back crowns in 2011 and 2012.
And Tom Yezek, the runner-up, he was that athlete that was planning to redshirt, but saw he could help the team with an MVC title, pulled the redshirt, competed this indoor season. We send it down.
Southern Illinois had a stranglehold in this event. They'd won the last 5 indoor shot put titles, Brad.
All right, we send it down to Kelly Burke standing by with Tarynn Cullings of Loyola just winning the women's 3,000.
Tarynn, a personal best time for you. What gave you the confidence in your training that you were ready for a breakout performance in your first MVC Indoor Championships?
I guess it all just comes with teamwork. I think as a team we do a really good job of that, especially with our coach just encouraging us. It was a little difficult with him not here yesterday, but we came through and pulled it, so it was good.
There were 4 of you in this fast of the women's 3K. How did you work together with the other Loyola teammates, especially in the early stages of that race?
Well, we kind of had a plan going in just to, like, if it went out a little slow, just use another teammate and go with her. And I felt comfortable enough to go. So, I mean, why not take the chance when you can? So, it was fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Brad?